So on the site you're going to see a lot of talking about all the little facets and features, the most important things about getting a good quality chamber that we look in, we inspect, and we test. Just some of the most important things to look on are, of course, the seams, and you can always tell, you know, where these are. The seams around the buckles, right here. Okay, and there's also around the windows. This is especially an important area. Okay. Now, when you're going to a different material right here, right, versus the rest of the chamber, that's where it gets a little tricky. And some chambers have some problems if this is not done well. That's why, you know, in general, if you have the more windows you have, the greater risk you have of something happening with those kind of hot areas. But you know, when you're looking to seams, you got to look at how are they actually sealing them up. Are they doing double ply? Are they doing single ply, triple ply? And then also within this, you also have stitching. Okay, stitching around the chamber, stitching around the ends where the frame is. You know, is it double stitching, triple stitching? What kind of actual string or are they actually using in there? Some of these cheaper ones you'll find out there, you know, yeah, they have triple stitching. You think, oh, I got a good chamber. Not so much. You have to look at what are they actually using. What's the tension, the actual string they're using in there. That's another important factor. Also, buckles. Some of these chambers have a whole bunch of buckles, some have just a few. You know, the buckle themselves, some of them are cheap plastic. You get in and out a few times, you know, for a year, and then suddenly you can't get this thing undone. So you always got to look for something that's real durable, been tested. Usually I go for anything metal, not plastic. There's some plastic buckles out there that I don't really recommend. How many of these do you actually need? Well, you know, if you're building a strong chamber, you don't need a whole lot of buckles. If you're building a chamber that's you know, maybe not sealed up as well, you're maybe going to need a lot of buckles to kind of withstand all that pressure in and out, you know, after a lot of repeated use. Some of these other important features right here, the release valve, you know, the funny thing about it is a lot of these kind of bullshit warranties out there, if you read, they'll say, oh yeah, we'll give you a 5-year, you know, warranty on these release valves. You know, these things are like $60. That's not the most valuable part of the chamber. And that is not an area that generally you have a lot of problems with. Okay? I don't need 5-year warranty on that thing. I need 5-year warranty on things that count, like the seams, like the zippers. That's usually what you won't find in those warranties. So, you know, maybe help you go over, we've gone over basically every single warranty out there for all the different ones. You know, I'm sick of this kind of bullshit, this limited warranty, these fake warranties out there. You know, you got to look at what the problems are with each of these different chambers, and I want coverage on all those main problems. Zippers, you always got to watch out for. That's probably one of the hottest areas of people having problems. So I try to expose that on my site as much as possible. But yeah, I mean, these other little areas, these knobs, is this cheap PVC plastic? Is it durable? I mean, what kind of washers do you have in there? Is there rubber in there? All these little components and parts. You can either get the cheap Chinese components that go in there that are technically, you know, designed for the chamber, but are not going to, you know, withstand, you know, hot and cold temperatures in your place, repeated use. Or what kind of components are they made in this country? Are they UL certified? I mean, there's all those different kind of, you know, little things that you got to look into. You got to get the manufacturer's specs on them. I've requested manufacturer specs on every single chamber. Okay? I don't really trust it when somebody says, hey, our components are great. They're industrial grade. What the hell does that mean? I don't even know. I want to see all kinds of certifications on that thing. I want to see it covered under my warranty. You know? But anyways, those are kind of the most important parts of the chamber. Most chambers also have a little pressure little valve here. And then also the release valve. You know, you have one on the end of the chamber, and you also have one right on the top side there. Usually the top side one is 1.3 psi, and then the one's back 1.32. But that's pretty much it. Most important parts of a chamber. Read more about it on my site. And if you have any questions about a brand that you're reviewing, give me a call.